Men i väntan på det så blir det nostalgi av ett lite annat slag.
Be sure that instead of making war, it's better to just stay in bed. Let's stay in bed for the spring.
And grow your hair.
Yes.
For peace. Let it grow till peace comes.
Ja, Sanna Axelsson. Vem är Yoko Ono för dig?
Ja, först och främst tycker jag att hon för mig alltid har varit en väldigt modig kvinna. Jag tycker att det är en självständig och originell konstnär som alltid har gjort vad hon har velat. Alltså hon har inte följt trenderna utan hon har varit stark i sin originalitet. Och jag tycker att modet har hon ju visat på många sätt, både mänskligt och hårt drabbad i olika sammanhang. Men också ett mod att skapa det hon vill. Det var hon är för mig.
Här ser vi nu alltså Johns glasögon i brons. Men vad tror du det här är? Jag ger dig det här äpplet.
Men det skulle vara tvärtom egentligen.
Ja, just det. Vad tror du det är?
Ja, det här är ett metalläpple, en skulptur. Den är, jag hoppas inte jag ser dåligt, det ser lite ut som ett hjärta, ett bett. Är det någon som har...
Det är John som har bitit.
Jag tänkte nästan det måste ha varit.
Yokos äpple till John. Hon har faktiskt blivit 57 år idag, Yoko Ono. Tiden går. Och i nästa vecka så visar hon det här på konstmässan i Sollentuna där hon är ett av huvudnumren. Och jag mötte denna 70-talets Madame Butterfly i ett vårlikt London häromdagen.
At the time, I never thought that somebody will bite it.
No.
I thought it's a sculptural piece, you know, it will just gradually get old and the seeds will fly, you know. And but Joan was very rock and pop, you know, so it just went like that, you know. And I thought, oh, what is this, you know? And it was a shock for me too.
You used to be the ethereal, rebellious, so to say, space kid of the 60s, full of life, love and humor. And now you return with heavy conservative bronze. How come?
Because I'm a 60s kid, then I have a prejudice towards bronze. It made me feel that it was institutional, heavy, and materialistic, you know. And I think that's the objection that the 60s people have towards the 80s and thereon.
So it doesn't reflect your life today?
Well, I think that instead of just criticizing the Bronze Age, I thought that I should understand the positive side of it. And instead of saying, oh, I cannot deal with materialism, I cannot deal with institutions, instead of saying that, I wanted to say, okay, maybe this is an age where even world peace can be brought about by the help of the institutions. In the 60s, peace movement was a grassroots movement, you know. But now, because it's so big, that we need all the help we can get. And it's a narrow-mindedness of the liberals to think that we can just do it still grassroots. Grassroots power is very important. But also, it's important to use every power in the world.
Yes, but still, I mean, in the 70s, hippies were the only ones who demonstrated for peace.
Yes.
Today, everyone talks about
Exactly.
peace. But has anything actually changed?
Yes, I think so. I think, for instance, what happened in Berlin, the Berlin Wall disappeared. And that was only because of the sheer will of the people.
You grow up both in Japan and the United States, constantly harassed for not belonging.
I think a lot of us feel not belonging. Not belonging is not necessarily a negative situation. It's a different kind of power too. By not belonging to a certain section, maybe you're belonging to a larger section. So it's all right. Most women feel that in the male society we are an outsider. We don't have the same kind of rights in the male society. But maybe our power transcends the restriction of male society.
After meeting John Lennon, you became the occasional whipping boy for splitting up the Beatles. But would that ever had happened if you hadn't been an intelligent Japanese woman, but, so to say, a blonde American belle, you think?
I think that at the time it was very important for people to have some scapegoat. And I was an ideal scapegoat. I accept that in a way. I really think that on the whole it was good that they had the scapegoat. And also I served a purpose in that sense. It's a kind of hatred that came out of people. And I think now they're looking back about it and seeing that maybe that was not necessary. But as a whole, in the big picture, maybe it was a necessary move at the time, you know. And artists do a similar thing. With their work, they inspire people and they stir up their emotions in many ways. Their anger might come out, their love might come out, but it's to stir people, you know. And by stirring people, we ask people to look into themselves, to face themselves, you know.
So you don't think it was just pure old-fashioned racism, so to say?
Oh yes, definitely there was that, but we all have a racism. And by that racism coming out so clearly, it was a good lesson for all of us. It was a good lesson for me as well.
How old is your son, Sean, today?
My son is 14.
Do you think he experienced anything of what you experienced at that time?
I think my son has, again, a slightly different situation from me. He's a Eurasian, meaning he's not Japanese, he's not the English, you know, it's half. So I think that's a hard position to be in too. But I hope that what happened to his mother had helped his situation a little, that people will not repeat the same kind of hatred towards my son.
Your life is a life of big losses. You lost your home country, so to say. Your parents weren't there when you needed them when you were small. You lost your daughter and the horrible loss of John Lennon, yet you seem so strong. I wonder, where do you draw all this strength from?
I wonder. I think that I think a person becomes weak only when they try to do things just by the energy they have and block other energies to come in. And I think that the reason why I seem to have some strength is only because I'm totally opened. I'm open to all the energies of the earth, of the nature of the universe. I think all of us are drawing energy from the universe itself. And in that sense, I think we can go on forever in that sense.
I would like to ask you a question that I hope you don't misprint. When John died, a whole generation, my generation, got into a stage of shock. And I would say that my country, Sweden, experienced the same thing when Olof Palme was killed.
Yes.
But still, life goes on and we seem to forget. Yet the widow lives on and mourns, and is a constant reminder of our guilt. But don't you think that these are our common guilt?
Well, I really think that guilt is a fictitious emotion that is covering other feelings. And I don't think that we have to be guilty. It's almost like we are feeling guilty of being ourselves, being human. And we have to allow ourselves to be human. And change is part of us. Growing is part of us. And in the process of growing, it seems like the strong emotion we had for the people who passed away seems to be gone, but it's not really. I think that John's spirit is growing in all of us, and that's how it is.
Thank you very much.